Kevin Owens out of contract the day before the next WWE pay-per-view, not Survivor Series, but the one after that, which is called Day One.
Yeah, the New Year's Day, is it? Or something?
Yeah.
Real close? Okay.
Yeah, Day One.
They're having wait, time out. They're running on New Year's Day?
Yeah, New Year's Day pay-per-view.
What?
Yeah.
Head-to-head with college football bowl games?
They're going to get destroyed.
I think I read...
what on earth are they doing? That's not you don't touch that market. January 1st is like New Year's Day is college. That's the day for college football games from 10 o'clock
But you know
in the
what?
morning
They
till...
probably got but they probably got a lot of people that don't watch college football. You
Good
know,
point.
I'm aware of that, but you're going up against the Fiesta Bowl, which is one of the highest rate.
I'm with you.
That's crazy.
I think I read, Billy, that starting to run that Day One pay-per-view and focusing less on the Survivor Series was like a Kevin Dunn initiative. I don't know if that's true or not.
I think your Survivor Series focus kind of disintegrated when The Rock wasn't doing the show. I mean, they're still doing The Rock 25 and all that stuff. And I see a lot of people saying, oh, he's going to turn up. Like, I don't know anything about that. If he turns up on Sunday at the worst promoted pay-per-view of the year, then that would be shocking to me and everybody that I talk to and every wrestler. So I don't know anything about that. And I also don't know about them originally pushing this pay-per-view stronger than Survivor Series. What I do know is they have a lot of established number one contenders waiting to get their title shot, which is weird because no one gets their title shot at this pay-per-view, and you've done away with the TLC pay-per-view. So after Survivor Series, you then have a 6-week gap, which should be a 6-week build to a pay-per-view, but we know that they don't build pay-per-view. They don't start talking about – that's one thing AEW does do better than them. I wasn't particularly impressed with the AEW pay-per-view this week. I know a lot of people were, but for me, it's just too long. It's I can't critique –
that was the main thing. It was too long, but the matches were good. Way too long. And every match, bro, we checked this. Every match was at least 18 minutes. That's just too long. But I also think, and I don't remember if Disco agreed with me or not. I just think that to them, pay-per-view is really for their hardcore fans, and they like long matches, But you're also going to turn away casuals. So you got to find a happy balance. You just can't be catering just to them, I feel.
I think it's a little bit more. I wouldn't consider myself to be casual, but the fact is when I'm not getting that. Well, what distinguishes one 18-minute match from the other? It's like everybody kicks out on 2.9, right. And it's the same thing from start to finish. Like it doesn't. One match isn't more special than the other. I mean, there's almost. I said last week. I see a room for someone like a Russo's type of booking in certain segments of the show. Here I see room for street fights. There was street fights in there, and there wasn't a cage match in particular. But without differentiating the matches, you can't go 18 minutes 8 times. Like you can't, because what I saw was eight decent matches. Some were better than the other, but
bro. That happened to me too. When I used to go to, I once went to the show. I had to actually go disguised because they wouldn't let me in. To the Arena Mexico, which was our competition in Mexico. And I just wanted to see what their crowds were like, what their ambience was like, what their show is all about, because they're so different. Their thinking is way different than ours. To make a long story short, bro, it looked like one long match, like 6 matches put together, like one long match. That's kind of what it looked like. And I was like, wow, this is boring. And then I remember when I went to PWG, a couple of times, who had the best athletes in the world, had really cool gimmicks. It's a great place for creativity. Bro, by half the show, I was already what would be the word? Popped out. I had no more pops left in me. I was just tired, and I was like, yeah. And there's still 3 more matches. There's a certain thing as fatigue. You got to space out the matches, space out the show, not make them be the same repetitive. You know what I'm saying? And they're still figuring that out. But that's one of my main problems. That paper was just too long, even though the matches were good.
That's what happened with the 2 friends I was watching it with. By about the middle of the women's title match, they went, all right, I've seen a lot. I've seen enough. Let's go out.
Yeah, and even if something's good by that point, Joe, you're kind of tired.
You're numb. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's a good point, Billy.
By the time Omega and Hangman need to go out there, they need to be killing each other to get you to react to it again. Yeah. There's not. I mean, Punk and Kingston did a decent job to differentiate. which that stood out in the, 6 matches in. But then after that, still back to the same.
And then, but yesterday at least it looked like Punk and MJF might be doing something. So I was like, okay, this might be interesting. But I would also like to say that what's her name? Nyla Rose, and I'm sure you'll like this statistic, and so will Glenn, just tied Sheeta for most victories for a woman in the AEW.
What an incredible accomplishment.
Oh, are they going to give her the trophy? Does she get a trophy?
Giving her the 50th win trophy. Are you a fan of that, Billy? 50th. When you win 50, when you have 50 wins, they give you a trophy.
I think they booked themselves into a corner with the win-loss records in the first place. I think when you got to have like Butcher and the Blade coming out there, they're 9-1 in 2021, and we haven't seen them win a match on Dynamite. So
right.
You're trying too hard to establish something you didn't need to establish.
Right.
And almost like, here's another problem that I have. I'm a mega big fan because I grew up like with New Japan Wrestling. I'm talking about the 90s. Okay, so I'm a big fan from way back then. So I really like that style. But when you see Ishii, who's the guy they had yesterday, and the guy that was before him, Suzuki, and you're a hardcore fan, yeah, you might be popping, but a casual fan's got to be thinking, who the are these old guys, and why are they so popular? Because they're not doing strong style. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing anything that you would go, holy if you're not a hardcore fan. Do you feel that? Yeah,
I don't react to them at all. I don't know who they are, and I've never ventured into Japan or Ring of Honor or anything like that. So
they book for their Echo Chamber. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, come on, we love Jay Lethal, right? But he's coming off Ring of Honor and everything, and like, dude, it's like you're in the main event on their show, your first match in the company here.
Yeah, but he's a big deal to that fan base.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, but you would not logically say, hey, we need to get maybe a lot of people. Maybe a lot of our fans don't know Jay because not a lot of people watch Ring of Honor. Let's give him a couple. Let's introduce him right. So yeah. But instead they just like Jay Lethal's here. And the funny thing they always reference. Oh, you should have heard that crowd. It's like, yeah, bro. These are like the hardest of the hardcore fans that are actually the ones that are actually going to the shows. They know all these people.
I think the majority, because I saw some screenshots, the majority of the internet wrestling reporters, like your Saps and Kellers and whatnot, were at the pay-per-view. They all flew in for it, so they're all in the crowd popping. You know?
they're the biggest marks of all. It's like they're the Uber. Like, they're so into it. They cover it every day.
There's no bigger marks than the boys themselves. That's true. That's true. Yo, what up? This is Konnan, and I host Keeping It 100, my co-host, Disco Inferno, unfortunately.
Well, I'd say you're my co-host.
Listen, every Thursday here on Spreaker, we talk pro wrestling, sports, movies, music, TV, pop culture, and some politics. It's everything the rest of the pro wrestling podcasts are not.
Tune in to hear myself, the superior one, educate and inform.
Tune in to hear me bury Disco.
That's very disrespectful.
Join us every Thursday on Spreaker and keep it 100. Boom!